Jungkook almost completed his military service, but his mom is banned from HYBE building. What's going on with Bigot? Is this really happening? Is it even remotely acceptable that Jungkook, BTS's golden magne, South Korea's pride, and the world's most cherished idol, is almost done with his military service, yet his own mother was reportedly blocked from entering the HYBE building? What kind of company draws the line not at sasaengs, not at media spies, but at a mother who simply wants to see her son? The rumor first hit the surface like a quiet whisper. No headlines. No official statement. Just trembling words shared by someone who allegedly witnessed an emotional scene at the back entrance of the HYBE headquarters. A woman, described as dignified and warm-eyed, had arrived without fanfare. She wasn't escorted by PR, she wasn't holding any documents. She had come as a mother, and reportedly, she left in tears. Could it truly have been Jungkook's mother? And if it was, why in the world would she be denied entry? Fans were quick to connect the dots. For weeks, rumors had already been brewing that something was off. Jungkook, who once always smiled effortlessly, seemed withdrawn in rare appearances. Staffers described him as focused, but far away. And now this, an alleged restriction on his own family. The moment this whisper reached the fandom, the questions exploded like wildfire. Was this about a lack of clearance? Or was there something darker at play? Had HYBE quietly drawn a line between Jungkook and his family? And if so, why? Was this control? Punishment? Or perhaps the symptom of a deeper war? Some insiders suggest this is not just a misunderstanding, but the aftermath of a long-simmering conflict between Jungkook's mother and upper management, especially since rumors suggest she tried to meet with him without going through the official scheduling protocols. But why would a mother need permission to see her own son? It's important to understand how HYBE operates. Every move, every visit, even a casual lunch, is logged and managed. When idols return from military service, their schedules are rebuilt, their activities calibrated, their image restructured for a new phase of visibility. But in that process, does the company forget that these are not just brands? They're sons? Brothers? Humans? What's truly disturbing is the timing. Jungkook's military service is almost over. He's been a loyal soldier, a national treasure doing his duty. Why now? Why, as he approaches his return, are we seeing cracks in the wall that separate his personal life from his professional image? And more critically, what if these cracks have existed all along? There's long been speculation that Jungkook's relationship with HYBE was not as perfect as painted. While he rarely voices dissatisfaction, his choices speak volumes. He has increasingly taken creative independence. He has worked with teams outside HYBE. He has spoken vaguely but emotionally about freedom and deciding for myself. Now fans are asking, were these artistic remarks hiding something personal? Could it be that even his closest kin were quietly being pushed out of the narrative? Imagine the emotional toll. You are one of the most famous artists in the world. You serve your country with humility. You endure distance, pain, and the emotional cost of absence. And when you're nearing your return, your own mother can't get past the lobby? Was this a security protocol or a message? There are whispers that Jungkook's mother has never been the type to stir conflict. In fact, those who claim to know her describe her as kind, quiet, fiercely loyal. So why would she, of all people, break protocol? Or did she? There's one theory that chills the fandom to the bone. Perhaps she didn't break protocol. Perhaps she wasn't on the list on purpose. Perhaps someone didn't want her there at all. If so, who made that decision, and what would they gain by keeping her out? Some speculate that this is tied to Jungkook's alleged refusal to re-sign a long-term exclusive contract before enlisting. According to anonymous industry sources, HYBE had hoped to lock in renewals for all BTS members before the military gap widened. But Jungkook reportedly didn't say yes. He didn't say no either. He simply waited. And that waiting may have created tension. Tension that now appears to be affecting even his family's treatment. And there's another layer. One that hits even harder. Jungkook's mother was a central figure in his journey. He has spoken with affection and gratitude toward her for years. If there's anyone he'd want to see upon return, it's her. So what kind of emotional damage could this cause? Being told, through cold silence or administrative refusal, that she cannot see her son in the one place that shaped his life. And if Jungkook finds out, if he hasn't already, how will he react? The fandom has gone into emotional overdrive. Thousands of comments flood forums and social media, demanding answers. Some cry out in anger, others in disbelief, a few in heartbreak. He served the country. He served the industry. Does he not even get to hug his mom? One fan wrote. Another message was more haunting. This is how idols lose themselves, when they're forced to choose between their blood and their contract. And it's not just ARMY that's watching. Industry analysts are now speculating whether this could signal Jungkook's eventual break from HYBE. If family is off limits, how much longer can an artist remain loyal? And if this incident proves true, what message does it send to future trainees? That family ties are conditional. HYBE's silence, as always, speaks volumes. Not a single line of clarification. No reassurance. No apology. Just the same cold professionalism that has often led fans to question whether the company truly sees the members as people or just as powerful assets. Behind the scenes, the tension grows. Jungkook is days, maybe weeks, away from being free from military duty. His fans have prepared to welcome him home with warmth, songs, and open arms. But what if his home no longer feels safe? What if the company that once gave him the stage now bars the woman who gave him life? What if this isn't about security at all, but about emotional power? And what happens when Jungkook finds out that his mother, his anchor, was denied entry? Does he remain silent? Does he forgive? Or does this become the moment that breaks the invisible leash once and for all? The silence from Jungkook himself is perhaps the loudest noise of all. Known for his ability to connect with fans on an almost psychic level, he has always been the kind of artist who expresses what he's feeling, not just in songs, but in glances, in the way he looks at a camera, in how he pauses before answering a question. Lately, that pause has become more than just reflective. It's become loaded, hesitant, guarded. Is Jungkook hiding something? Or is he being forced to? Fans believe something changed months ago. Even before this incident involving his mother, there were moments that didn't sit right. During a rare off-duty moment captured in a now-deleted social media clip, Jungkook had reportedly muttered something under his breath. "I miss when things were simple." Was he referring to his early debut days? Or was it a direct reaction to what was happening behind the scenes? Now, with this alleged restriction placed on his mother, that line feels less like nostalgia and more like grief. What could be more complicated than knowing your mother, your only true sense of home, is being treated as a liability by the very company you've given your life to? It's not the first time HYBE's cold corporate machine has come under fire. The very empire that BTS built now appears more like a fortress than a sanctuary. And Jungkook's situation is rapidly becoming a symbol for something bigger. A mirror of the question millions are now asking. When does a label stop being a home and start becoming a cage? Insiders, speaking off the record, suggest that Jungkook's return is already being viewed as a high-risk re-entry by the label's executive team. Why? Because unlike his earlier years, this time, Jungkook returns with power, with leverage, with questions, and possibly with wounds. There are growing suspicions that this emotional fracture could lead Jungkook to do the unthinkable. Walk away not from music, but from the infrastructure, from the machine. From the systems that once lifted him and now seem to be pulling him apart from the people he loves. If this is true, if Jungkook truly feels his family is being kept at arm's length as a form of pressure or punishment, then what comes next could change everything. Will he speak? Will he stay silent, as he has always done when the stakes were high? Or will this be the final push toward independence, toward building his own label, his own team, his own future? Many believe this is why the situation with his mother was never meant to be public. HYBE, for all its polished PR, is acutely aware that the public would never accept such treatment of an idol's family. But perhaps they underestimated just how many eyes are watching, how many hearts are listening, and how deeply ARMY feels every injustice done to the ones they love. Fans have begun organizing a global digital protest. Hashtag #LetJKSMomen has begun trending in over 20 countries. Artwork, letters, emotional videos, all demanding that HYBE issue a statement. Some go even further, calling for a boycott until the company offers an apology, not just to Jungkook's mother, but to every family member who has ever been sidelined by the industry. And perhaps, most shocking of all, are the rumors that some senior staffers within HYBE are themselves uncomfortable with the decision. One anonymous staff member was quoted saying, "Some lines should never be crossed. This one was personal. This one might cost us more than we realize." Cost them what? Jungkook's loyalty, or Jungkook himself. There's something haunting about this unfolding drama. Because for all the glitz and power HYBE represents, Jungkook remains at his core, a boy who just wants to sing, to connect, to be understood. He never asked for empire. He never asked for war. But now, it seems war has come anyway. A quiet war. An emotional war. A war not of guns and press releases, but of locked doors and unanswered messages. A war of distance, measured not in miles, but in silence. What hurts the most is imagining what Jungkook will feel when he learns, or confirms, what happened. Will he call his mother? Will he weep in the privacy of a barracks room, surrounded by strangers who don't know that he just lost something sacred? Or will he act? Some say this moment will define his post-military era, not an album, not a performance, but a decision to either rebuild trust within the company or burn the bridge that leads back to it. And there's something even more chilling. Some fans believe this was no isolated incident. That Jungkook's mother being stopped was not the beginning, but the latest move in a longer game. One that started years ago, when control was slowly wrapped around the members' personal lives. One that involved isolating families, filtering communication, and ensuring total allegiance to the brand. If this theory holds weight, then Jungkook is not just facing a one-time insult. He's facing a system designed to erase everything except the image of an idol, not the soul of a son. Will he still want to return under those conditions? Would you, as the fandom sits on the edge of their seats, waiting for a single message from Jungkook? One thing is clear. This is not over. This is not just a scandal. This is a story about love being denied, about loyalty being tested, about what happens when a mother walks to a door, expecting to see her child, and is told by strangers, "You can't enter." Imagine her face, imagine his.